Here's another video on brutal breaking of the laws, many laws, both domestic and international, by prosecutors or deputy prosecutors. So now I notice that they are not called deputy prosecutors anymore, but only prosecutors, as can be seen here. So state prosecutor or public prosecutor. Wow, it's now supreme state prosecution. What's that? Never heard of it. So and the chief prosecutor is now called. It's before. It was called before just state prosecutor as a chief prosecutor, but now they added chief prosecutor. So there are certain changes, and I just need to figure out what is this supreme prosecution. Because this didn't. Yeah. This was just renamed. Its name was previously Republic Prosecution Office. So this is the highest instance of prosecution. And the name of the page is still the same. So RJT, Republic Prosecution Office. So they haven't changed that, which is good. So she's the one who is the most responsible for I think I have now 43 counts of international organized crime related to Serbia. It was her duty to handle this. Wow, they have Twitter, cool. Because the prosecution for organized crime is only in charge of state organized crime, not not international organized crime, as it says here. Okay. So again, they had some changes here in all the prosecution offices. So it's not deputy prosecutor, but just prosecutor, and the chief prosecutor now is officially chief prosecutor. This part, chief, was not there before. It was something sort of a default title, and there was just, if the prosecutor has just title state prosecutor, it meant automatically by default that he's chief prosecutor. Other prosecutors were deputy prosecutors. Okay, so not a big deal. And again, this Republic Prosecution Office is renamed into Supreme Prosecution Office. I haven't followed that, to be honest. So let's see. IT practice. What about English? Yeah, they haven't changed this. Republic Public Prosecutor. Republic Prosecution Office should be. This is wrong. Okay. So I don't see here DA contact, and this is really outdated. OSCE, that's cool. They have a lot of international partners, as you can see. So here's the contact. Why I haven't seen this? Wow, it's here actually. Why is this so different. Organization, international cooperation, fight against corruption, activities, contact. Yeah, this is missing. This is not in English page. Wow, this is what I need. Okay. Yeah, ministerial. Well, these are just basically some small articles. I don't know, so they probably haven't mentioned that I reported Serbian prosecutors for involvement in international organized crime, USDOJ. So I'm referring to so this email when I'm talking about DOJ. So this is an email which I sent a video of an email which I sent to, this can be seen here, DOJ, Attorney General, and so on, accusing United States federal government. So this was 7th of July 2021. So I accused United States federal government of being behind illegal arms trade in Serbia, which was going on for 20 years, since 2001 or 2002, something like that. So I proved that in another video that I just closed. So arms, I proved that here, and the very fact that they haven't reported me, the United States Department of Justice haven't reported me for false crime reporting, is best proof that I was right, that they are, the United States federal government is behind illegal arms trade, not just in Serbia but probably in Western Balkans. So this is a huge scandal. Okay, so these were the changes that I wasn't aware of. And again, this is really cute list. So let's go back to Serbia. Well, they changed it. They changed the instead of Vrhovno it was JT. It was before was RJT .gov.rs, and I can show that right away. So RJT, here it is. So they changed that. And what else? This first part is also changed, so the actual email address. So both address and email domain are changed. This is something you usually never do, but I can probably use the old email address and domain. It should just forward it should just forward it to new address. I think that this is also the case with higher instance of prosecution office in Belgrade. I think that they also changed their email address. Yeah, they changed it. Cool. So they changed it. It was before. This was the address before they changed it. So and it will be seen now when I run run the search that I'm right. So these are emails they sent to me, and these are just basically so it says here higher instance prosecution office in Belgrade, so that's them. They were just confirming the emails I sent. So it started in September 2020. So this was the first one they sent. This is there are multiple emails here, but so again that's them. Higher instance prosecution sorry, higher instance prosecution of Belgrade, just confirming they received the email. They are still doing nothing, and these are all international organized crimes. So that was the second. The third one is, I think, also, yeah, confirming that they received an email, blah blah blah. And the last one is that they actually responded. 17th of August 2021. This is the response. It's Dragana Pesic, and it says here deputy prosecutor. So at that time, this is the date, 27th of July 2021. At that time they were named deputy prosecutors. Zamenik means name, Zamenik means deputy. So if we go here, this is that prosecution office. So this page is there's no English. This is High Council of Prosecution, and they are basically government body that deals with prosecutors. So they are the ones who create a list of prosecutors to be chosen by Parliament. Parliament basically just confirms that list. I think that they never rejected anyone from that list. So basically they are the ones who are in charge of choosing prosecutors. So here is this monster and psychopath, Dragana Pesic. So she is now, all of them are now state prosecutors, and she is moved to special unit, a special office for fighting corruption. I don't know what's the date when she was moved, but because that unit is part of this prosecution, so this is why she's still here in this list. So basically she stayed in the same prosecution office, but she was only moved to another unit. So this is what she replied, and this is what most of them didn't include. in the end. So they warned me I have 8 days to edit my well, they said here it's crime report finally, otherwise it will be dismissed. Or rejected, whatever is the right term. So what she wrote here is that I sent her her prosecution office received my email on 7th of July 2021 in English. So they want me to edit my email and to translate it basically in Serbian, which is official language of their office, and this is the sort of she's invoking Article 15 of rule book, or wherever it is translated, wherever it is properly translated. So rule book of the administration in state prosecution offices, and to explain why I'm sending this to them. So whether I'm filing crime report against some person, and what is the crime in question, and to give, of course, pieces of evidence so that they can act. So I'm not in charge of giving pieces of evidence. According to the law, as a citizen, I just I don't even need to add a title to my crime report. So I just describe some event which has elements of criminal activity, and I file that to the to prosecution or to police or to court, and it should eventually end up in prosecution office which is in charge, in case I file that to prosecution office which is not in charge. So you can also file crime report to court as well. Court needs to put this in their archive and to immediately forward it to prosecution office in charge. So I explained that in another video in detail, so I won't explain it again. So after prosecution office in charge receives the crime report, so there is no crime complaint as in United States. So in United States you have crime report and crime complaint. So there is only crime report in Serbia, which is sort of logical, because complaint is usually something that you file when you are not satisfied with some decision. So I don't know, maybe it doesn't make sense in English. I'm not English native speaker. So she basically is asking me to do her job. So I don't need, it is of course recommended to give as much details as possible, but I don't have any sort of obligation. Of course I have more obligation, but I don't have any obligation by the law to give all the details or to investigate anything. In my crime report that I file, I just describe the event which has elements of criminal activity, and that's it. The prosecutor in charge is it's their job to investigate everything first independently, everything around that event, and then if they cannot, this is of course not properly explained in the laws, in related laws, on purpose to create loopholes. They are using this when they are protecting not just them but courts and police as well. So they are using that when they protect their masters, the real mafia. So afterwards, if prosecutor has some questions regarding my report, then prosecutor can ask me some questions, and and they need to explain why they need those information from me, why they weren't able to get those information by themselves. So I'm stressing this because I'm emphasizing this because in most of the cases they are just asking for additional information without explanation why, without previously doing independent investigation. And this is, I think you will see in other videos, this is, I think, the first case that they characterized my email as a crime report. In most of the cases they are characterized them as either submission, which is a general term, so crime report is part of a submission but special case, or a complaint. They are doing this in order to avoid acting ex officio, meaning by the definition of their job, meaning they need to do everything independently. So if it is not crime report, then they don't need to act ex officio, and they can ask me for details before they do any sort of independent investigation. So this is the key point here, and this is the problem with some very popular international organized crime cases. Namely, one of the first, of course, is Jeffrey Epstein. So again, not Epstein on Epstein, but Epstein, like Einstein, not Eastin, but Einstein. So Alex Acosta was doing this exactly the same thing. Well, not really in that sense, but they were breaking the law on criminal proceedings. I don't know what's the name of that law in United States, but they were breaking the law by the means that they haven't prosecuted everyone involved. So this is also what independent investigation means. So you need to do everything independently first, and the first step in doing this is deciding if this is even crime report. So this is the thing. So first step is to decide whether document filed is actually crime report. I don't need to write to title it explicitly crime report. I just describe the event and that's it, and I file it to DA, to prosecution office. I don't even need to write crime report as a title. This is what independent investigation means. Okay, so or more precisely ex officio, so acting by the definition of your job. Okay, so this is what she wrote. So this is a picture. I cannot really select it to run it through the Google Translate. And basically, as I explained, she's now asking me, she's here asking me to do her job. It's not my job to give pieces of evidence, although I did that. I mean, I gave so many pieces of evidence that I couldn't give more, which you will about to see when I show you the actual email that she's referring to, and also what almost all of them are doing is that they are creating, instead of replying to my email, they are creating a new email thread in order to hide what actually they received, and to probably to pretend they received only some emails or some portion of emails, and so on and so on, to basically to try to avoid any responsibility and to blame someone else for their illegal activity. Yeah, this doesn't exist anymore. Okay, so let's see that infamous email. Of course, I will just need to switch the sender and recipient. So if I do this, she's referring to this email, and voila. And this is actually the DOJ, and I think this is the what? Okay, so if I search for DOJ, this is an email, I mean video of that email, as can be seen. Of course, I need to have HD for a proper what's this? Report on international. So 1 minute to noon, and this is basically it. There are some additional explanations here. So of course she pretends that she doesn't know how to use YouTube. Let's see, how about the CC. So if I go to Serbia, yeah, here it is. So the guy who was at that time Minister of Health, this guy in the picture, was responsible for death of 4 people, including 5-day-old child. Okay, should be here, should be baby. Okay, so this also works. So she had that information. So she had that translated. She she doesn't know how to use the YouTube, or she pretends she doesn't know. So there is also a video. On how to set subtitles, properly set subtitles. It's in Serbian, and it says it's for prosecutors and judges. And let's see what's the, okay, this is September, but let's see when she sent this. What was the date? So the date was okay, August. So I still haven't added this video, but anyways, I mean, this is a common knowledge to just basic usage of the of YouTube. And what she should have done, instead of trying to be smart, is that she should have forwarded this email to international prosecution or international court, according to both domestic and international laws, and she pretends she doesn't know that. And I don't know if I showed how many emails I sent them. So she waited more than, I don't know, let's see how long she waited to I mean, her prosecution office to answer. So that was the only answer. I think it was first mail was in 2020, sorry. So although they did some, they were acting, but through prosecution, higher prosecution office. I had emails. I have I think 2 videos on that, which I'm going to upload. So they acted actually, but through higher instance prosecution office in Smederevo. They just forwarded my emails to them, and the fact that higher instance prosecution office in Smederevo didn't want to send me those emails that they received from Belgrade, shows that they were doing everything illegally. So, but directly they contacted me only once, which I just showed, and these are emails they received from me. The first started, so this is the first one. It was 30th of September 2020. So they waited almost a year to answer. They should have answered right away after this email. And this contains a lot of, so they pretend they haven't received any of these emails. Any of them. So you can see how many are there. This is the first thread, the second thread. So the ones that are expanded are the ones that are that they received. They just pretend they haven't received that somehow. So there are so many of them, and let's see. How about this one? Received. Wow. This is March 2021. So they are pretending nothing of this is relevant except this one. So they are doing something that all the other prosecution offices and police and courts, judges are doing. So they just cherry pick something that works for them. One email out of tens or maybe even 100 emails, and they are trying to build a case to have an excuse for not doing their job. In some of the cases, they are even cherry picking the part of an email or crime report. So since all of them are doing the same thing, it means that one person or group of people is behind this, and that group is not most likely, but certainly the since this is international organized crime, so that group is are people from embassies, foreign embassies in Belgrade, and they promise them they won't prosecute them, they will ignore everything I'm doing, and this is why they're so comfortable in breaking the law. Not just these institutions, not just police and the prosecution offices and courts and so on, but all the other international state institutions. So I have other videos on that, and I think it would be enough if I open this G drive folder. So there are 60 folders. There is some which is related to international institutions. So this is Ministry of Justice of Netherlands, and of course Interpol, but most of them are state institutions involved in cover-up of monstrous murders of 3 members of my family. So there, here I have like 60, not 16, but 60 folders, and she's asking me for pieces of evidence. I mean, so these are real monsters and psychopaths. They know what happened, that this monster who murdered my family is guilty. She even poisoned my brother's children, ranging from, I think, 10 or 8 years to 14 years, something like that. That was their that's how old they were when they were poisoned. So she did that in order to scare them, so afterwards they never. She did that right after she moved to my home in around middle 27 middle of 2007. So they stopped. They never actually stayed at my father's home, because she was my father's second wife. So my brother's children never stayed at their grandfather's home, not even for not a single day. I have material pieces of evidence about that. So those monsters know all about it, and they are still cover this up. So I think I explained everything related to that monster from prosecution office in Belgrade, and She was probably she advanced in her career probably because of handling this, my case, and other cases, other similar cases. So that is, of course, this is nothing surprising for anyone who is into geopolitics, and it's not something that's happening only in Serbia. It is happening everywhere. In case where the mafia should be protected. Mafia, that mafia is they are actually masters of state institutions, real masters of state institutions. So again, this is maybe the best proof that monstrous murders of my family are international case. And what is the one thing that is important here is that this is the only email, her email is the only email that directly addresses the international crime report. Of course, she's ignoring that G drive folder, Interpol G drive folder, but she is the one who directly referred to international institution regarding this case. Although I have described all the other cases in that, all the other cases of corruption, I mean international organized crime cases, a lot of them, but this is again the only document they sent that they directly addresses something that's related to international organized crime. I mean, institution, they directly addressed institution related to international organized crime, and of course they are pretending they don't know English. I have a full right to file that report in form of email in English because it is international case, and they need, according to the law, to translate this. In the same way, for instance, they need to provide the transcript if I file the voice recording, for instance, within my crime report. They need to do that. It's not my job, it's their job. Because if I do that, they can say I did it, I manipulated somehow with the data. Of course, they can ask me to help with some words if they can understand. They cannot understand, but in general, they need to create a transcript independently and later ask me for help if they cannot do it themselves. This is what ex officio means, and this is what working independently on the case means. I mean, working independently is basically what ex officio is all about. So not just, so this is one exception, that reference to international institution. And the second exception is, as I already noted, that they characterized it, characterized my submission as crime report. I don't know why they did that. Probably because they were scared. Even they had support, promised protection from the foreign embassy in Belgrade. They still were scared of what will going to happen, and they're probably still scared of what will going to happen. So and the what's happening right now with Jeffrey Epstein investigation, Jeffrey Epstein scandal. Somebody who is following what's happening noticed that now the current CIA director is involved in the scandal. So Burns visited Epstein, CIA director visited him. So current CIA director. So Biden CIA director met with Jeffrey Epstein multiple times after he was convicted for the child prostitution in 2008. And I don't know if I can find here the White House won't comment on CIA Director Burns visiting Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, here it is. Fox News. I don't know if I can run this. So she's a spokeswoman of White House.
Does President Biden have any reaction to CIA Director William?
Okay, I need William Burns. So I need to mute my mic.
Does President Biden have any reaction to CIA Director William Burns meeting with Jeffrey Epstein in 2014? This obviously was after Epstein had served time for a sex crime and was registered as a sex offender.
I'm just not going to comment on that from here.
Okay. And can you also, how does, President Biden says that he's the most pro-union president in history. How do you square that with the fact that he is not openly offering support to the striking writers and all that?
Okay, so as you could hear, even the CIA director was involved in this whole scandal. So this is, as I anticipated in 2019 when he was arrested, this will not go away. It will only get worse, and this is what is happening right now. So very soon their masters from United States Embassy and UK Embassy and German Embassy won't be able to protect them anymore, and it will be really interesting to see what will happen then. And of course the current government, after those mass shootings in May this year, so I don't know if I showed what day is today, what date is today, because I need this. I'm doing this every time in order to have time reference. I had some problems when I didn't do that because I wasn't able to determine the date, and in some cases it was really important. So I would really, it will be sort of a interesting social experiment and psychology experiment to see what they will do when they realize their masters cannot protect them. So I'm not just talking about prosecutions, Serbian prosecutors and judges and police, but all the other institutions, state institutions, primarily state institutions. So I just showed that there are around, let's say, 50 of them who are involved. So and again, I'm sure they know what they are doing, that this is extremely serious since it is international. It is international organized crime or internationally organized crime. So if you say international organized crime, you need to put a comma after international. So if you say international organized crime, you don't have comma. Anyways, so they are certainly, they have protection. The protection is promised to them by international bodies, international foreign embassies, and so on and so on. But again, this will not. This will end very, very soon. So very soon they will realize nobody can protect them, and it will be interesting to see what will they will be their actions then. So I hope they receive this and take it seriously. It's for their own good. I mean, they will not just go to jail. They will need to pay me damages, huge damages. This is according to the law on prosecutors and judges. So if they commit a crime intentionally, not by mistake, they need to pay me. So both prosecutors and judges, and a lot of judges and prosecutors are involved here. Only in prosecution of appeals there are like 10 cases, and they told me only of 4. Actually of 3, and those 3 are then used to create one, to merge into one case. So 4 cases, and instead there are 10 cases. They told me that there are 10 cases after they realized this monster poisoned children. So this is an even bigger scandal. So they are now trying to sort of cooperate, but it's too late now. I mean, I reported everything to international institutions, so they cannot act anymore. So basically that's it regarding higher instance prosecution of Belgrade. I think I forgot to mention that they are actually, this is the prosecution that is involved in all the scandals. So they investigated all the scandal, all the biggest scandal in Serbia, including illegal arms trade, or maybe illegal arms trade was the case of prosecution for organized crime, maybe. But they were in charge for that's an official fact. They were in charge for that scandal when military helicopter fell down, and this was something that's this is something that happened because politicians wanted that helicopter to land in certain place so they can be photographed by journalists. And during that crash, 5 days old baby died. So that it was again military helicopter. Another scandal they are involved. They investigated. So this prosecution office is drug smuggling. That was a huge scandal, international, of course. And I also managed to get them involved in war crimes, which is basically indirectly related, I mean directly related to illegal arms trade, because arms that are illegally sold to what was the state? I mean, they're sold to Daesh, definitely, but there is another state where war crimes are committed, and I filed a crime report on that to Prosecution Office for War Crimes, but they forwarded that to the to this prosecution office. So prosecution office, Higher Instance Prosecution Office in Belgrade, and there is a video, actually two videos on that. So Prosecution Office of War Crimes, they confirmed here that Prosecutor Ivan Markovic, I think, is he still here? He's not here anymore. So his name was, I think, Ivan Markovic. He's probably in some other prosecution. So these two videos of calls, I called phone calls, I called Prosecution of War Crimes to tell me what's happening with my crime report, and they finally told me on 29th of September that they forwarded to other prosecution. So I got them involved even in, of course they are not reacting to that crime report that was forwarded to them, meaning that I managed to get them involved even in not just illegal arms trade but also in the war crimes. So this is huge. And let's see, I haven't added here that it's Ivan Markovic, deputy prosecutor at that time, but maybe DA. I need to use Cyrillic or Cyrillic in Serbian. So Ivan Markovic, tužilac, ili let's see, tužilac or prosecutor. What? He's here, but he's not in the in this list. In this list of state council prosecutors. What's this? Organization. Okay, somehow I managed to get his name. So he's the so they haven't changed here, they haven't removed this deputy part, so that new law was actually what? Was actually not really they're not applying that law. So here it is, war crimes, and I don't see him here. But again, yeah, he's involved in some corruption, so he has to, I don't know how to translate this. Oh, come on. Mortgage, oh no. So it says here that he was in Zajčar first. This was in 2015. So he had 2 mortgages on the same apartment in Bank of Vojvodina and in Privredna Bank of Belgrade. So this is Blitz, which is a Serbian version of Blick, B-L-I-C-K. I think this is Swiss news. This is Swiss newspaper or newspapers. Ricochet also wrote about that. They are creating documentaries on crimes. So it says here that he is someone who has a lot of experience. So he's involved in corruption, and somehow he ended up in the prosecution for war crimes. So this was in 2015, and 2 major, so they are popular news outlets, and they wrote about that. It means that this is a serious thing. It was a serious thing at that time. So I don't know where he is now, because obviously this, either this or so this is the official page of let's see here, prosecutors for war crimes. So this is their official website, and it says here that he is deputy war crimes prosecutor. So but the state council of prosecutors doesn't have him listed, as can be seen here in their on their official site. So they changed their name. Their name first, their name was State Council of Prosecution. So here it is, State Council of Prosecution. When I search for that, they gave me, but it's still here. So they changed their name into High Council instead of State Council of Prosecution. This was a Council of Prosecutors, and it's now Council of Prosecution. So probably to match it with the High Council of Judiciary, and the other change of the name of Republic Prosecution Office to Supreme Prosecution Office is probably to match it with Supreme Court. But I mean, the only thing they did is that they changed those email addresses, which is something you never do. And as I showed here, Google cannot verify this. So this probably is not working anymore. I hope that this is actually I can simply forward it to see right now. So reply. So just checking if so I wrote here just checking if the old email address still work. And I, of course, need to ask them why they did this. So why you change email addresses? This is something that's never done. This is what I wrote here. So respectfully, what? Okay, let's see what will happen. Sent. Okay, refresh. Well, it appears that this works. Of course, sometimes it needs like more than a minute to return it. And I will of course call them to see what's happening, because this is a major deal. I don't want to send it on different addresses now, although I probably won't contact them anymore, because this is now official international case. So it looks as if this works. Okay, so I'm finished with this topic. And I'm glad again that I managed to officially involve this prosecution office in 2 more cases. So both illegal arms trade and DA war crimes. So for now, I'm done with it.